Cancer.
Hello Cancer, this is your February forecast for 2017 and you have just set yourself up for a fabulous month with a lot of attention focused on your career, but also in the area of shared resources. So we're going to be looking at money, savings, and so forth, commissions, royalties, the money that you have with your partner, whether that be your significant other or not. But here the sun is passing through this 8th house. And yes, you will be not just researching where your money is going. We're not talking about your income. That's 2nd house stuff. The 8th house is more about the money that you're setting aside towards retirement, savings, and so forth, investments, commissions and royalties, but also how you share your expenses with your partner. The sun is not just alone, because Mercury will be joining forces with the sun when we get to the 7th of February, and so Mercury will be crunching numbers or having phone calls, text messages to your broker, banking investor, or who knows what. But this will really help you set things straight for the entire rest of the year until the sun and Mercury gets back here in 2018 at some point. So you can do really well by taking this little extra time and focusing, and you'll see how it's going to come up all on its own. You don't have to hunt it down. It will just naturally come to you. You might be changing up what kind of insurance policies you have and so forth as well. That could behoove you just to tweak it a little bit, car insurances and so forth. You can save a lot of money. Go to Geico, you know. Now that's not a hidden message. But yes, over to your career this month. Venus has been there. Mars has been there since that of January, okay? And so right now you're so geared to go. Your drive is up, your goals are clear. Mars being in the sign of Aries, well, that just really gives it a big hoot. Why? Because it rules Aries. So you're really aligned with the physical manifestation of energy that you're going to need. And more so, Venus is going to join Mars here after February 3rd. And Venus is what we desire. It's what we love, right? So whatever goals you're holding right now, Cancer, you can see how all this love energy is going to go towards what it is you're working for. Now, of course, you hear a lot about the 10th house being your career, but don't forget, the 10th house is what we're working towards, our higher goals. So it's not just career. Say that you're a stay-at-home mom. Now that's a career in itself, don't get me wrong, but you could have goals there where you're thinking ahead, wanting to achieve, and so forth. So it's all about our goal orientation. Venus and Mars, they don't always cruise together. We love when it does, because then both love and desire, they're working well together. And for you right now, yes, 10th house energy. You'll have it for a little bit. You want to make the most out of it while it's there now, before it kind of moves into the other areas of your chart. And talking about Venus here in January, before it enters into your 10th house, it has been looking, researching, deepening, with the need, or a higher need, should I say, to research or study. That's what the 9th house is all about. Some of you have attended class. Others are thinking maybe about going back to school, or preparing yourself maybe for what now is going to come in your career. The more you can do here on the side of January before we jump into February, the better equipped you will be to take on these challenges that now the universe is going to be serving you. Saturn is in your 6th house for routine, and I can see how you've been working your routine really good, figuring out what you want to hang on to, right? That gives you structure in your daily life and so forth. It gives you good grounding as well. But better yet, I can see how Saturn has been helping you to cut away those things that just are time consumers, that steals away from your focused, dedicated energy. Saturn's powering you up here, so we love that. And Jupiter this month will be retrograding. So let's talk about that for a moment. Jupiter is and has been for the last year, or say late summer, in your area of home and family, and it has been expanding. A lot of you Cancerians, you've moved, or you've added to the home, or redecorated it. Some of you might have been traveling, even moving to another city or country. Now Jupiter will retrograde from that February 6th straight through June 10th. It will slow things down for you a little bit. Now we don't really need to worry too much about the retrograde. Sure, with Mercury it can create havoc and whatnot, and total delays and miscommunications, but Jupiter is such a jovial planet, doesn't really give us a lot of havoc, even when it's retrograde. But what it can do is have people disappear from your life that you might be needing, since it's in your 4th house. It could say if you're working on a home-related project, and suddenly the contractors aren't there or not available, that kind of thing. So we can see a little bit of a slowdown, but it's not really anything major. It allows you now to just settle in with the energy that you worked so hard for and just enjoy it for the most part. Any major projects on your home, or if you're building a home, for example, you can expect that to work a little slower, but if you wait till after June 10th, you still have all of summer and into autumn, then that would be the better time, for example, to start building. Mars being in the sign of Aries. So we got our moons. We have the new moon, full moon, but better yet, here Cancer, this month we have the eclipses. We got 2 eclipses. We have the solar and we got a lunar. The full moon here this month, February 11th, is falling into your 2nd house of money, income, and so forth. This full moon, it's a lunar eclipse, and I'm going to make a dedicated video just for the eclipses, so you can get more information on it. You just want to pay attention to the very end of the video. You'll see there's a little slide, just tap on it. It'll take you straight to the video for more eclipse news. But the full moon, yes, it is in your 2nd house, illuminating your income and perhaps also purchases that you're wanting to do here this month. You can have the new moon is 8 degrees, excuse me, 8 degrees in Pisces. February 26th, this falls into your 9th house of higher education, wanting to reach more for the higher dimension or work of your own self, studies, that kind of thing, travel, or at least making plans for some travel, maybe for later on this summer. The new moon always initiates new beginnings, but with there, it's a solar eclipse, so more on that too in this video at the end. So yes, there we have our moon placements, but you know what, when we start off top of the month, it's not a good time to have any kind of conclusive type discussions or agreements, because we're not seeing eye to eye with the rest of the world, they're not seeing eye to eye with us. You might have some fabulous ideas here, Cancer. We know that you normally do. Now Uranus is in your 10th house for career. Mercury, if you're wanting to have a communication, it may not be taken the way that you'd like to present it. So hold back. The same thing on the 2nd, Mercury squaring off on Jupiter. And so it's like all the good forces aren't really with you quite yet. Later in the month, though, we can see how things are going to be supersonic. Speed-wise, picking up speed already in your 3rd. That is when Venus here is moving out of the 9th house into your career area, joining forces with Mars, as I mentioned. This is the time you're going to really feel that you're on that super highway. Things are moving forward. Your mind is very, very active. Here with Mercury too on the 7th, changing signs and progressing from out of Capricorn into Jupiter is and has been for the last year. Now the Aquarian way of thinking is not as linear as when Mercury's visiting any other sign. Aquarius likes to think in full downloads, okay? It's more visual way of thinking. Like those of you who might have photographic memory. Normally, memory comes from Mercury going to the past, bringing up those files, right? It will slow things down and recalling it. Whereas when we have photographic memory, it's just impressions, they're always there. So it's faster.
havoc and
On the
whatnot,
9th,
and
straight through the
total delays
16th,
and
what a
miscommunication.
time. Here we
But
will
Jupiter
see
is such
that
a
you will
jovial
be
planet,
exchanging
doesn't really
ideas,
give us a lot of
communicating,
havoc, even when it's
contracting new
but what it
things.
can do
I feel
is
it's a time
have
where
people
emotionally
disappear
too,
from your life
that you can
might
be so
meeting,
close to your heart,
since it's in
speak
your
your
fourth house.
heart,
It could
speak your
say,
highest
if you're
truth.
working on a
This is
home-related
because Mercury
project,
now
and
aligned
suddenly
with
the
Venus
contractors
is really
aren't there
close to
or not
what
available,
really matters.
that
Those
kind of thing.
values that you hold so tightly
So we can
onto,
see a
and
little
it's
bit of a
being
slowdown,
received.
but it's
See,
not really
your
anything
charisma
major.
in the way that
It
you're
allows you
sharing
now to
is
just
coming
settle in
forward
with the
in a
energy
very
that you work so
optimistic,
hard to
jovial
just
way.
enjoy it for
That's
the
the
most
Sun
part.
and Jupiter.
Any major
They're connecting
projects
on
on
their
your home,
annual
or if you're building a home, for
trine.
example,
This happens
you can
twice a
expect that
year,
to move a
so
little
it's not
slower.
that often. It's one of the most
But if
fortunate
you wait to after
days of
June
the year.
10th, you still have
Besides
all
the
the summer
conjunction,
into
of course,
autumn,
that's on the
then that would be
11th.
the better time.
And
for
so
example,
here we
start
got
building.
everything going on,
Anymore.
whatever it is you're trying now to bring up and
So
forward.
we got
It
our
is
moons.
being
We have the new
received.
moon, full moon.
This is
but
such a
better yet,
blessing.
here,
Why?
Cancer,
Because
this month we
now
have
you're
the
getting the
eclipses.
validation
We've got
you've
two
been
eclipses. We have
seeking,
the solar,
what
we
you've
got
been
the lunar.
working for.
The
and
full
you
moon
feel
here this
empowered,
month, and I
very
can see how
11th,
Mars is kicking
is
into
falling
action.
into your second
All of
house
this,
of
for the
money,
most part, for
income,
you,
and so
Cancer,
forth.
will be
This, when
a
it
full
comes to
moon.
work,
It's a lunar
lunar
eclipse.
eclipse.
Gold.
And I'm going to make a dedicated
Now on the
video
18th,
just
for
the sun is
eclipses,
moving into
more
the sign of
information
Pisces,
on it,
which is
you
your
just want to
sister
pay
sign.
attention to the
This
very
is
end of the
harmonious
video.
energy.
You'll
This
see
is
there's a
just
little
gonna be
slide just
supporting
tap on
for
it.
it.
The rest of the
I'll
month,
take you
it's
straight to the
next
video
month
for
uh,
more
where
eclipse
you can
news.
feel
But
that
the full
you
moon,
are
yes, it is in your second
expressing,
house,
illuminating
bringing
forward
your income,
those things
and
that you
perhaps
believe
also
in.
purchases
And
that
when I
you're
talk
wanting
about
to do
belief
here.
this is all about
The new moon
spirituality,
is 8
higher
degrees,
truths,
interdimensional truths,
8
and
degrees
so
in
forth.
Pisces.
And I could feel that
February
you're
26th,
really
this
honing
falls
in on
into your
wanting to
ninth
learn
house
more about spirit, higher
expanding your
education,
consciousness,
wanting to
ninth house
reach more
is
for the
always
higher
all about
dimensions,
your
higher
own self.
education. We're
It's
not
not
just
just
that
talking
kind of thing.
back to
Travel,
school,
or at
you know,
least
in
making
its
plans for
traditional
some
travel.
form, maybe for later on.
Some
This
of you, of
summer,
course, can be
the new
going
moon
back to
always
get your degree,
initiates
but
the
it's
beginnings
also
of
soul
it.
searching.
It's a
right?
solar
So
eclipse.
the
So
soul
more on that
search
too
will be
in
calling
this
you
video at
forward.
the end.
And I think you'll be super excited.
So
to
yes,
take on
you,
whatever
there we have our
course,
moon
class,
placements.
whatnot
But you know
that
what?
can
When we
feed
start off
your
top of the
inner
month,
spirit.
it's not a good time.
Then we have
To have any
on the
kind of
21st,
conclusive
again, I
type
feel
discussions
communications, and
or
that is
agreements
kind of
because
business.
we're not seeing eye
One
to
of
eye
these
with the
little
rest of the
things,
world. They're
geez,
not
oh
seeing
my
eye to
God,
eye with
right?
us.
You might
So
have
there
some
could be phone
fabulous
call ideas
text
here,
that you
Cancer.
just make
We know
contact
that you
with
normally
good
do.
news. I
Now
feel
Uranus
so
is in
favorable.
your 10th
Kind
house
of
for
reminded
career.
me what took place
Mercury,
February
if you're
11th,
wanting to have a
not only on
communication,
that lunar
it may
eclipse,
not
but
be
on the
taken the
11th,
way
we
that
got
you
the
like to
solar,
present it. So
Jupiter
hold back.
trine,
The same thing
now
on the
looking at
second. Mercury's
Jupiter
squaring off
trine.
on Jupiter.
So,
And so
news,
it's like all the good
communication,
forces
what
aren't
you're
really
sharing,
with you.
it's
But
overly
yet later in the month
optimistic,
though,
it's
we can see
expanding
how
your
things are
horizons,
going to be supersonic.
and
Of course,
speed-wise,
again, here,
picking up the
speed already
unexpected
in the
news
third.
is that
That
Mercury
is
and
when Venus here is moving
However,
out the ninth.
Here comes the red
into
flag
your
or the
career
red area.
This
Joining
month there
forces
isn't a
with
whole lot
Mars,
that
as
we
I
need to
mentioned.
worry about.
This is
But
the
the
time you're
22nd,
going to really feel that
and
you're
give
on
it a
that
day or two
super
on either
highway.
side.
Things
Mars
are
is
moving
moving
forward. Your
that
mind
quickly.
is very,
So
very
it's holding,
active.
it's building
Here
up to
with
this
Mercury
pressure.
too
The
on
exact
the
date is
7th,
the 22nd.
changing signs and
When
progressing
the two of them
from
square
out
up on each other.
Capricorn into
Pluto is
brutal
Aquarius.
when it's squared.
Now
It-
the
it
Aquarian
is,
way of
dynamite,
thinking
you know,
is
it's
not as
explosive,
linear
especially when
as
we have
when
Mars there.
Mercury's visiting
It's
any
what
other sign.
creates volcanic eruptions.
Aquarius
That
likes
is
to
how
think
we
in
give you
full
the image
downloads,
of
okay?
what takes place.
It's
Things
more visual
silent on
way
the
of
outside,
thinking.
tension
Like those
on
of
the
you who
inside,
might have
and
photographic
that sometimes
memory,
looks a whole lot.
normally
All comes out.
memory comes
So you
from
want to
Mercury
lay low,
going to the
so you
past,
don't
bringing
get
up
into
those
power
files,
struggles,
right?
Pluto loves power
And
struggles,
recalling
it's
it.
acting up.
Whereas
That's
when we
what
have
it does.
photographic memory,
Right.
it's just
In
impressions.
another
They're always
scenario,
there.
Mars being the
So it's
car,
fast.
vehicle, or driving.
On the 9th,
We're
straight
not
through the
paying
16th,
attention
what
to the
a
speedometer,
time.
and
Here
here's
we
the
will
police
see that
stopping
you will be
monitoring
exchanging
your
ideas,
actions.
communicating,
Pluto
contracting new
represents
things.
police force.
I feel
so
it's a
forth.
time
We
where
can say that
emotionally
this is
too,
days
that
where
you can be so close to your
things might
heart,
be a
speak
little
your
bit
heart,
different.
speak your
It's
highest
like a
truth.
rest of
This
the
is because
month,
Mercury
though,
now
that
aligned
last
with
week is
Venus
pretty
is
good.
really close to
We have
what really
you
matters, those
securing
values that you
your
hold
contract
so
or
tightly
agreement.
onto, and it's
So
being
of course that
received.
could be,
See, Your charisma in the way that you're sharing is coming forward in a very optimistic, jovial way. That's the Sun and Jupiter. They're connecting on their annual trine. This happens twice a year, so it's not that often. It's one of the most fortunate days of the year, besides the conjunction, of course. That's on the 11th. And so here we got everything going on, whatever it is you're trying now to bring up and forward, it is being received. This is such a blessing. Why? Because now you're getting the validation, what you've been seeking, what you've been working for, and you feel empowered, and I can see how your Mars is kicking into action. All of this, for the most part, for you, Cancerian, will be when it comes to work or those goals that you're working on. Now on the 18th, the Sun is moving into the sign of Pisces, which is your sister sign. This is harmonious energy. This is just going to be supporting you throughout the rest of the month into next month, where you can feel that you are now expressing, bringing forward those things that you believe in. And when I talk about belief, Pisces is all about spirituality and higher truths and interdimensional truths and so forth. And I can feel that you're really honing in on wanting to learn more about spirit, expanding your consciousness. The 9th house is always all about higher education. We're not just talking back to school, you know, in its traditional form. Some of you, of course, can be going back to get your degree, but it's also soul searching, right? So the soul search will be calling you forward, and I think you'll be super excited to take on whatever course, class, whatnot, that can feed your inner spirit. Then we have on the 21st, again, I feel communication that is coming with good news. It's one of these OMGs, oh my gods, right? So there could be a phone call, there could be text, there could just be somebody contacting you with good news. I feel it's so favorable, kind of reminding me what took place February 11th, not only on that lunar eclipse, but on the 11th we got that solar Jupiter trine. Now we got Mercury Jupiter trine. So news, communication, the way you're sharing, it's overly optimistic, it's expanding your horizons, and of course, again here, the unexpected news is that Mercury and Uranus. However, here comes the red flag or the red light. This month there isn't a whole lot that we need to really worry about, but the 22nd, and give it a day or two on either side, because Mars doesn't move that quickly, so it's holding, it's building up to this pressure. The exact date is the 22nd, when the two of them square up on each other. Pluto is brutal when it's squared. It is dynamite, you know, it's explosive, especially when we have Mars there. It's what creates volcanic eruptions. That is how to give you the image of what takes place. Things silent on the outside, tension on the inside, and then something pokes a hole and it all comes out. So you want to lay low so you don't get into any power struggles. Pluto loves power struggles when it's acting up. That's what it does, right? Another scenario, Mars being the car, the vehicle, our drive, and we're not paying attention to the speedometer, and here's the police stopping you, monitoring your action. All right, Pluto represents police force and so forth. So we can see that this is days where things might be a little bit finicky. That is the 22nd. Rest of the month, though, that last week is pretty good. We have you securing either a contract or an agreement. So, of course, that can be between you and anybody, in fact. But it's something that's going to be securing you, and it may also tie into you getting some results from your physical expression, 6th house, health, diets, workout, that kind of thing, since Saturn is there. But Mercury is delivering good news here, so if you're going for a health checkup, it should be good news. 25th, Mercury is moving out of the 8th house. It's been working there all month, crunching numbers, preparing whatever it is you can do to change up your investments, are they all looking good? Do you need to change from one company to another? That kind of thing. But now Mercury's coming in to your ninth house for higher education, spirituality, research, studies, travel, that kind of thing. So of course now for the rest of this month coming into March, this is where your mindset is going to be. How can I grow spiritually? What can I do to know more? You know how they say, know thyself, right? So a lot of self-study whenever we have the Sun or Mercury in the ninth house. Even also when other planets travel through there, we become curious how we fit in to the overall. 27th, there is an unexpected insight coming in. I feel some action can be taken, maybe a little impulsively too. Mars and Uranus may not think consequences. They just act because the forces, they become so electric, and you might be so excited about something that you might just jump into action. That's the 27th. And then, of course, we have Mars also opposing Jupiter. So I can see, Cancer, that you might be making some important decision. This is between home and family life, and whether maybe to take on extra hours at work or also to start a project at home. Maybe it could be parents that need more attention, that kind of thing. So you might just feel a little drawn between the hours being spent at building your goals and the hours needing to be spent at family. But of course, Mars, there's no retrogrades, so it's not going to linger around and stress you out forever. But you might just feel there is a week or two where there's so much going on in both areas, and you might have to make some decision. But listen, this is what we have going on for February. You do want to listen to your moon sign, rising sign to see where all of these energies are acting out in that area of your chart. But now you can go to this icon up here and listen to the solar and lunar eclipse of February 2017. And I'll see you next month. Bye now.